Okay, joining us today on SSJ at Home at the Come and See episode. Gosh, what are we on now? 5, I think. Sure as I say that, it'll be
It's
something.
five.
It is 5. Okay. I don't. Are Stacy and Joey Detiveaux, who are the coordinators for the SSJ Usher program. I don't know if it's called a program or not, but just the ushers at SSJ. Guys, thanks for being with us this morning to tell us a little bit about what all is involved in the Usher program.
Right. And so when we say Usher program, you're actually a ministry. You're a minister. And a lot of people don't realize that ushers are liturgical ministers.
Okay.
So you're involved with the liturgy, just like the lectors and the extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. So you are a liturgical minister.
I am learning something just like everybody else this morning. So I'm sure a lot of people knew that, and I should know that. But and it is a ministry, and you all are often the sort of the first go-to people for a lot of people who walk into the church, maybe for the first time or for an 8th or 10th time that need questions. What all is involved? What do you do aside from showing people to their seats, which I think most people think of when they think of ushers? What all else is involved?
So, just recapping what you said, being some of the first people, we kind of greet them at the door. Greeters. We have greeters, and then we're right behind the greeters. And then in these days, we are the greeters, and we kind of welcome people. And if there's questions, there's always someone coming in with a question. How do I get involved in faith formation? I need to first-time visitors, to the church. And so we kind of sort through that, and then we help them find a seat, and we talk to them about mass times, and sometimes, we get to know families quite well, and they come in at different times. You got 3 parts of the family come in, and you got to watch where we've seated them or they've sat themselves, and try to get them all together, right? So there's that, and it's making certain the church is ready, it's cleaned.
And of course, there's guiding people with a communion line.
Yeah.
And these days, with our social distancing and the COVID-19 precautions that we have to take, it's really, really important. So Father Pat knows that people can come to Mass and feel safe and have a joyful encounter with God. We try to facilitate that for it to run smoothly. And if somebody has a problem, you have to be ever ready, because if there's an emergency, we would be the ones to call the police or call an ambulance or whatever. But yet to me, it's like being the mother welcoming her family to come into church. So it's you get to know the people at your Mass. You get to know the families, young families, our older single people. If we don't see some of them, we try to get in touch with them and find out if they're okay. It's just to facilitate having a Mass that's orderly and safe and joyful.
I can certainly see why it would be considered a ministry after everything you've just explained there. So.
Yes, it's when Joey and I finished serving after a Sunday, it's just such a rewarding experience. And I feel if you're a open person and you truly want to help people and welcome them, you get all kinds of questions. I've had somebody come to visit, wasn't even Catholic, just wanted to check it out. And could you show me how to make the sign of the cross? Sure. I've had people come back to the Catholic Church that haven't been in years and come up and ask me if I could show them where to sit, what to do, and things like that. Young families, can you put me in the back? I'm going to be going to the bathroom with these kids.
Joey, I think I stepped on you a minute ago, and I apologize. You were going to say something.
I was just saying, it's kind of important. We have yeah, I'll show you. We have like a nice little guidelines and everything on how to do it and what it is to be an usher, and what the procedures are. What time to show up, and it's not very hard or difficult. It's just a commitment to getting it done and helping out and understanding, why we're there. And I'm telling you, as soon as you start, you realize why you're there, right? You can do it. And I was going to say a little earlier, even today now, we're starting to reach capacities for mass, right? Our 25%. And it's kind of like we learned 2 Sundays ago that we got to do a better job of seating, because it's getting to where it's like a puzzle. You got to get this family and this and piece everything so that you can get the maximum in, right?
Yeah.
And I think this Sunday that just passed, we were ready for the overflow or open the chapel. Although we were like 2 people from having to do that. Last week we weren't quite as prepared as we thought we were, and so it's planning, preparedness, communication. There's a team between us and the sacristan, the deacons. Deacon Dennis is heavily involved in what we do, and Deacon Kenneth sure helps out a lot too, right? He tells you from his point of view what he's looking at and what would go better, right?
Okay.
And we believe we can always do it better.
Yeah. Have you been met with a downturn in ushers because of COVID?
Yes, it's we've got some older people that have some, some medical conditions. In fact, one of my ladies, I talked to her yesterday. She is so missing coming to mass, but she's got some heart and lung problems. Yeah, we've got some older folks, which, yeah, we're really being affected. And some people are just still scared.
Yeah.
But what's happening with this, other ministries like the Eucharistic ministers and some of the lectors, they want to help out. And so they're giving it a try. And a few of them are like, this is really fun. You can put me on the schedule. Sacristans, because the sacristans aren't being able to perform their ministry right now.
Right.
I would encourage anybody that wants to help us out, give it a try. It can be any mass that you want, and we will train you right there. Joey or I will go to that mass and have you shadow us.
Yeah, and then we have like each mass has a core crew, if you will, and we've been building up on it. As Stacy said, some of the sacristans and Eucharistic ministers are helping out. And masses that we don't traditionally usher are now needing to be ushers, like funerals, right? We had the first communions last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago. We went to usher it because you have the large family, and they had a lot of family members coming in from out of town that aren't accustomed to what we're doing in our church, right? And some of these people, their churches aren't even open, right? So we had to be there to help them social distance, seat with their families, and also I'm attending a lot more masses than I normally do.
Which was my next question, the time commitment. You can serve at more than one mass, and probably often do serve at more than one mass.
Well, yes, with this COVID and not having enough ushers to fill all the spots. And like Joey says, normally you would need ushers for a funeral, so to speak. But now with the social distancing, we do need ushers for funerals and weddings, anything. So, yeah.
Tell everyone. Stacy, you shared with me a funny story at the beginning when we started talking. Share that with everyone if you will.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, Jim Burkett was calling for ushers. They were announcing announcing at mass, we desperately need ushers. Please, we need ushers. And I kept thinking, I said, why aren't the men signing up? I would love to do this. This would be awesome. Well, about the 3rd Sunday in a row of hearing this, I think it was the Holy Spirit went, hey, it's the 21st century. Women can vote. You probably could usher. So I called the coordinator, Jim Burkett, I said, Jim, can women be ushers? And he says, I don't see why not. So I became an usher and went through the training and all. And so I was the usherette for 11:30 Mass. And then more women started coming in because they wanted to do what I was doing. But I just amazed at myself. That was only 5 years ago. That sounds like a story from like 30 years ago. But I did, my father, he's since passed, and he was an usher at their church in Louisiana. And we were visiting, and he said, Stacy, will you usher at this Mass? I said, sure. Oh my goodness, the priest after Mass, he said, this parish is not ready for women ushers. That was 3 years ago.
You're a real trailblazer.
Yes, I watched her for a few weeks ushering, and then I realized, just attending Mass by myself wasn't quite the same as it had been when we went together. So that's when I decided to join her with the ushers. And this is something when we go to Mass, we do together, right?
Right.
We either get to sit down and pray together, or we get to work together, right?
So share with everyone who would be interested in becoming ushers or usherettes. Yeah.
I think if you are a friendly, welcoming person, 16 years old to 96, you're perfect.
Okay.
I have a vision of maybe families taking on an every 5-week block, especially if you have a large family. I think it would be awesome to have a mother-daughter team, a mother-son team, father-daughter, father-son. Or if you have a really big family with tweeners and teenagers, you can serve with them. Anybody. Now, if you're grumpy and you got a frown on your face, maybe it's not for you. I mean, even though you have a mask, we can tell if you're smiling or frowning.
So nobody who would say, yeah, there's a seat up there.
You got to be a little bit outgoing and I tell you.
No, if you're a kind of shy person, this is perfect for you as well, because you'll get to know people and just by serving them. So
yes,
I just think it's a whole gamut. But like I said, if you're a grouchy person, then maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
But you can always try it out. There's no commitment until you serve a little bit with us so that you can say it's right for you. The only thing is, if you decide to be a minister in this ministry, you do have to do safe haven training,
right,
which was the old Bertus training.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so easy. It's online. And it was online before COVID-19. So,
right. How do people sign up? Who do they need to call or email? Give us your information, Joey.
I'm in the bulletin. They have me in there to contact you, so you can contact me.
Okay.
The email address in the bulletin.
Email address in the bulletin.
And I'll send you what you need to know and the links to Safe Haven. You send a certificate back to me, and I'll get it over to the parish, Steve Genet. He'll put you into the system, and and then we'll put you at a Mass, and you choose the Mass that you want to serve.
But they get to try it out first. They don't have to sign anything until they try it out.
Yeah.
And we'll meet them at that Mass. I think sometimes, Jimmy, I keep emphasizing that we want to invite people into our ministry. Sometimes people feel like, well, I can't make the commitment. Hey, if you could do every 5 weeks, we'll work with you. We could use any help that you could give us. But I really, truly want to invite you to try it out. And if it's for you, you'll be hooked.
Stacy and Joey Detiveaux, the coordinators of the Usher program at SSJ. Thanks, guys, for being with us today and for explaining to us this wonderful ministry.
Okay.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You guys have a good day.